was up there on the fourth floor. For, it was in two units there. Remember? Yeah, we were talking earlier. You remember the guys in my unit there? Tommy Gioli, Dino Saraceno. Poor Dino. He got 50 years. Yeah.
Nice
And
guys.
anyways, you and I have been talking, and I want to discuss one thing that you brought up the other day. All right, because everybody wants to hear about Punk Diddy. Now, I named him Punk Diddy. Okay, so I should get all the gratitude for that there. But one thing that you recognize, you said to me, you said his inmate number is very old.
Yeah.
It put a thing off in my head. I said, "Are you sure?" And you said yes, because you used to give inmate numbers sometimes when you worked in R&D,
Yeah.
correct?
Correct.
Oh, so we did a little bit of research. So, everybody was telling me early on that Diddy's been an informant for a long time with the FBI. I said, yeah, but who did he inform on? We still don't know. But we did find some records, all right, that on 4/19/1995, Diddy was arrested in the Southern District of New York.
Okay.
All right, now I'm not going to go through everything here, folks, because, all right, on 5/19/95, it was dismissed, but it was dismissed by a magistrate in Washington, D.C. Now that there leads me to believe that he was a confidential informant.
Oh wow.
And more than
Uh
likely, we can't find anything else on this. So I would have to say that the records are sealed on that. Would I be correct, Charlie?
oh, that's a great possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie, people are all over YouTube, as you know, okay, with all sorts of stories about Diddy Air. He's in special housing, he's there, he's there, he's got a computer. Now, we had no computers when I was there,
No.
okay? And then when computers did come in, we had what, three or four in the unit, and everybody had their certain time they could use it. Okay, but now, why is it that inmates have their own computers? Is that possible?
Well, they have legal computers and they have access to emails through the true links and on the housing units. He is not he doesn't have his own computer. He's not in a cell. He's in a dormitory style housing unit with 22 old high profile inmates. Um he's adjusting now. In the beginning, it was pretty tough on him. It was obvious with his meltdowns and his type of behavior. Um, but I guess he's adjusting and focusing on what he needs to do to get out.
Okay, everybody's saying that all sorts of different stuff. What is the truth? All right, he's in a dorm, and now he's in we used to call it the old building. The buildings are the east and west, correct?
Correct.
All right, so he's in what, the west building?
The East Building.
The east, but he's in the east building.
Yes.
Now, I was in the east building. What is that, like 7, 8 floors, isn't it?
16 floors with a mezzanine in between.
How many?
I would say 16 floors with a mezzanine in between.
16 floors.
hmm
It was that high?
With the mezzanine, if you count the mezzanine in between. There are
Yeah, but
6 floors of housing units and other floors of special housing and offices and that type of stuff.
okay, so they're using it for offices and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not full of inmates no more.
Only high profile inmates on one unit.
All right, on that unit, and then they still have the female.
Yes, the females are in the same building, a couple of floors away.
All right,
Downstairs.
so I remember they were on the second floor.
Yes.
They're saying that he's able to see the female inmates through a
No,
hole in the floor. That's
that's
impossible.
well, no. When you were there, they didn't have those gates up. The girls, you know how they would speak through the gates? Not anymore. So the girls, they put like a metal plate on the gate, so you can't really see out. I mean, you could still get fresh air. It's like 8 feet up. I mean, you can't climb that high, but you can't really see the males. They really protect the females in that place,
Right.
regardless of what you've heard.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, people are saying because of Diddy's money that he's getting special treatment at NBC Brooklyn.
If you
That's
want me
good.
to be very honest, nobody cares.
Do
He's a
people
regular inmate.
do
He's a
people
regular
like?
person.
Go ahead. I apologize.
Uh, Nobody cares. He's a regular inmate. He's treated fairly, uh, firm. Everybody's firm, fair, consistent. He doesn't have any interactions with anyone outside the unit unless it's for medical reasons. Um, he's quiet. He's to himself. He doesn't have any friends on the unit. That's all I can really say.
He's got no friends. He's
No.
got high profile. I know he's got that guy. What's his name? Sam Beckman, the Bitcoin guy.
Yeah, he's on the same
I
unit.
don't know if he's still there. A
Yes.
former president from uh,
Honduras.
Honduras, yeah,
Yes.
was there.
Yeah.
Boy, he had 40, how many tons of cocaine? Holy shit. 40, 40 tons of cocaine.
No, it was only like 400 tons.
400 tons. Holy shit. Can you
Only.
imagine 400 tons of cocaine?
No.
Man, that sure was not for personal use. But everybody got this about Diddy. Okay, they say he was rushed to the hospital. Other people say no, he made up an excuse to go to the hospital to get pain pills. Because look at Diddy is a guy, and we know, and I know because I happen to know, they had the fall of Diddy on HBO, and I happen to know Phil, who had the last half hour of that HBO special. I know him very well.
Yeah.
And Diddy was on drugs every single day. And so I could see maybe he's trying to get pain pills or something.
It's not that easy. It's not that easy. If he was on drugs every single day, it wasn't noticeable. There was never like a time where anyone would say he was withdrawing or anything. We're not medical staff or anything, but working there 20 years, you've seen your share of withdrawals. We never witnessed anything like that I know of. He did go out on a hospital trip, but he's a very high profile inmate. You don't want to let him know he's going to the hospital. He makes a phone call, and the whole entire network of media is outside waiting for him and thought, it's a security issue. So what they do is they plan trips in the middle of the night. They call any local hospital and say, hey, we have an emergency x-ray for a high profile inmate. Can you fit us in? Yeah, come at 2 in the morning. Okay, local hospital, wherever they take him. That's what he got, was an MRI of his knee. And he was back in 2, 3 hours. It wasn't something that he made up. All these planned and unscheduled visits have to go up the chain of command. So it's not like he tells an officer, I don't feel good, take me to the hospital, and then they just take you. That's not the way it works.
No, I didn't think so because, when I was there, and I think you remember, okay, I had hospital visits. They brought me out. I think you were one of my guards. I'm not sure that day. Okay, when you guys took me to NYU.
Yeah.
All right, remember that time? And you pull up to that side door, I'm chained and shackled. Okay, and we go in through the private entrance at the hospital and get on an elevator. I think we were going to the fifth floor, and
Uh-huh.
you and another guy were both on my side. I'm back against the wall.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
And the elevator opens on the fourth floor, and people
Five,
get on.
six
People
people
got
get
on,
on.
and I look
Yeah.
at the people. They're looking at me, and I said, "Can you imagine all this for a speeding ticket?" The, the guards were the ones that you and the other guard cracked
Yeah.
up. Yeah,
Oh, that is
yeah.
so funny. Oh, wow. I can't believe you remember that. Yeah, it was good times. Definitely times have changed recently. Um, so much speculation and nonsense I watch on the news and media. Uh,
Now let me ask you: is the media like? Are they parked outside MDC, hoping and waiting that he comes out or something like that?
well, in the beginning they were. It was like a sensationalized story. When he was extradited from California or picked up from Miami, wherever he was. But once in a while you see them parked outside, but nobody's allowed to speak with them. There's really nothing to speak about. Everything's already on the news. So for the most part, you know,
Yeah. Now you told me that he's a real pain in the butt to the guards, though.
he was in the beginning. Yeah, he was a big pain in the ass.
That
But
he was.
it's normal for someone who's never been to jail, for someone who lives in mansions in Beverly Hills and Miami and New York City and lives a lavish lifestyle. You get into prison and you're gonna complain about everything, including the food, you know? So that was mainly his
I don't.
chief
Me. I
complaint.
mean, look at. I mean, I just changed my mindset, and I said, "This is my life." You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I knew with me it would happen someday, and it happened.
But you know what? The difference with you and maybe him, not to try to compare you or anything, but you were a person who respected everyone and had massive respect from guards as well as your fellow comrades, you know? But him coming with such a sensationalized story and coming into prison, people are not too much liking, you know? Like I said, we try our very best, or we try, or we do we're firm, fair, and consistent, but in the back of your mind, sometimes you have like a preconceived notion. Me, I can care less, but not saying that that's what the case is, but that's how inmates behave with one another depending on your case, you know.
Right. What else about Diddy? And you told me that he was taking guards' names, their inmate, their badge numbers, and writing it down every day. What was he doing with that?
I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't think he knows the process of what prison is, and there's a difference between convicts and inmates, and he's behaving like a newly incarcerated inmate. I guess he was told by his legal team to take down names and numbers or whatever case, I guess for reference or anything, or to document when he's asked for things.
But
I really,
is he
it never
still
went
doing
anywhere.
that? Is he still doing that, or is
No,
he stopped?
no, he stopped.
He stopped. Okay, that was then his lawyers were probably telling him to do that when they were trying to get him out on bail, I would imagine. Uh,
Yeah. He had
I have to
psychology.
crack up. Okay. I mean, he wants to get out of jail because it's not his lavish lifestyle. I am. Well, him and all the other inmates want to get out too. Okay. But
Yeah.
he thinks he's special. And does he act like he's special there, Charlie?
Nobody cares.
No one cares.
Nobody pays attention to him in that way. Not that they don't care for him. He gets everything he has coming. He even has psychology stopping by once a day and speaking with him, touching base, making sure he's good. But we're not phased by it. I mean, we've had even bigger stars in that place before. You know a bunch of them,
Right.
You and I both know. You know a lot of very famous people, but we're not phased by his celebrity. He's just a regular inmate, and our job is to feed him 3 times a day, make sure he has clean clothes, clean linen, um, a shower every single day, rec, and his legal calls and visits and whatever else he may need, we provide.
Now, I was originally, when they first extradited me from Los Angeles to Brooklyn, I was in four North. He's in South, right?
Okay.
He's in South. So I was in four North. There were about 120 inmates there.
Correct.
Okay. And, you know, most of that building now is closed, correct?
Yes.
So they made where he's at in what's he at, four South? Where, or four
Um,
North, I
I'm
forget.
not sure. One of those.
Well,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, four, wherever it is. I got it all confused here.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, only 20 some odd inmates there,
Yeah.
profile people. I mean, you think, I mean, me, unless people talk to me, I don't talk to them. One of the rules in prison, keep your mouth shut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does he sit at a table? Because I remember those units. You ate your dinner there, you took a shower there, you went to the bathroom, everything was right there. So it's still the same way, correct?
Correct.
So, that you must hate that.
Yeah, it becomes like a Groundhog's Day. Every single day is like the same thing, but it also gives you time to reflect and to think and to write and get your mind right. I've been in this prison for 20 years. I'm retiring at the end of this year. And even as an officer, I mean, you get to see the transition that some inmates have from when they first reach custody to, the whole process of court, getting arraigned, sentenced, and so it's
What do they do with pedophiles now? Where do they put the pedophiles?
everywhere, anywhere. Nobody knows what they're in there for. So it's just everybody's mixed. We
I
we don't keep
remember
them
they
all.
tried to put a pedophile, who's a famous one, in our unit. And, me and Charlie Carneglia, we played cards every day. And
Uh-huh.
they tried the guards put something good together, and lucky you only got so much room. So they tried to put this pedophile into our unit. And me and Charlie are playing cards, and this guy walks up to our table before he even goes to his cell. I says, "Hi, Ori and Charlie, how you guys?" He knew our names.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at Charlie. Charlie's looking at me. We both look up at like this. Who the fuck is this? All right.
And Charlie, if I'm correct, he was in the paper every day. He
Huh?
was going to try. Charlie was going to. He was in the paper every single day. He was going to trial in like
Yeah,
2009. Yeah.
right. But then we found out that, I guess the guards that day said, if you get in with those guys, you'll be okay. But we found out he was a pedophile. And then on commissary day, those pedophiles always, I don't know why, they got money. It seems like the pedophiles are people with money.
Wow.
And
Hmm.
this guy loaded up, and we had one of the guys that was never getting out of prison, wouldn't pay him a visit, took all his stuff. He ran to the guards and they got him out.
Oh wow.
But that's when I was there, things have changed. But
Things are different now. Yeah. I mean, the law has come down hard on us So it's like we have to walk on eggshells and make sure that we're providing the everything that the inmate has coming. Um, so it's like everybody's on eggshells and everybody's watching what they're doing, making sure that the inmates are comfortable. And, it was never like that before. Before, I mean, it was orderly when you were there, like an orderly running institution. But when you're kind of babying these guys, they tend to lose respect for the officers and staff members. I mean, unfortunately, it's how it is in prison.
Now, when he gets, does he get visitors? Do people come and visit him?
I heard his kids came down once. I know he has legal visits.
Now,
Uh,
when he has the legal visits, do they have him in the building he's at or in the other building?
in the same building he's at.
Same building.
Hmm.
So does he go to the other building for anything, for visits or anything? No,
Mm-mm.
because when I was in the old building, I call it, okay, when I was there and we had co-defendant meetings, I had to go to the other building, the new building. We called it new, it was old and dilapidated then.
Yeah.
Okay, and you take that elevator down and you got to walk there. You got that tunnel underneath, correct?
Yes. Underground tunnel. Yeah.
Hmm.
A long depth tunnel. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, that's really, what the hell did they ever have down there?
I don't know. I mean, it's just a tunnel that connects both buildings, and it's just
It was the weirdest thing having walking through there. I mean, it was not a good feeling because it looked like they had some cells on each side. I don't know if they put real bad guys or put dead people in there. I don't know. But
no, no, no.
I gotta tell you, I posted a picture of Diddy's house, and and I told people there's no tunnel underneath, and I got over 500,000 views. People insisting that there's tunnels under Diddy's house. There's no tunnels under Diddy's house in Homey Hills, folks. But he does have a tunnel under his house now at MDC Brooklyn. So
Oh
that
my
should answer
God.
everybody's question about the tunnel, I hope.
Oh wow.
But I don't know, what more can you share? Tell us what's your day like going to work in the prison. All right. I mean, I can remember shit. When they brought us out to court and we first brought us in, waiting at the gate in the bus. Okay, got to wait for the other buses and the inmates to get off, the buses to leave. But now for you guys just walk in. What's your day like?
Oh, we don't just walk in. Let me correct you on that. We have to go through a screening process the way inmates do. So we take off all our personal belongings and put them through a metal detector and shoes off, like we're getting screened through an airport. Of course, it's just for safety purposes. And then we go through the through the screening process. We get our equipment and then we go to our post.
Huh. Now, you and I were talking, and Diddy's saying he's being spied on by the government, the FBI are in there, and
Yeah.
all sorts of shit you hear. I mean, there's people on YouTube that they make up a lot of this shit. Okay.
If that's how he feels, it's probably, he's just being paranoid, I guess. But to be honest with you, the Bureau does not have enough money to hire people to go undercover. I don't think people even have the guts to go undercover in that place because it's not. There's so many reasons why it can't be. The FBI cannot walk into that jail whenever they want. You have to be trained as a federal correctional officer to work housing units. So let alone be undercover inmate or undercover staff, it would never happen. I don't think it would ever be approved by the director of the Bureau of Prisons without the proper training. I doubt it.
Huh.
So he's just
So
probably
that,
paranoid,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Now, from the when I was there, now my co-defendant Chris introduced you and I, but he ran into you, and you said, "Guess who I ran into?" And that's how we got to be here, Charlie.
Hmm.
And uh, but what the hell was I going to say? Went
Oh,
blank.
Chris, yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
very, very,
Chris
very proud of him. What he's
Chris is
doing.
an awesome kid, and I'm so happy he's doing so well now
I'm
in the
so glad.
construction business. He's got a great job. God bless him.
He's very dedicated. He works sometimes 12 hours a day. I'm like, listen, when are you gonna have time for yourself? He's
Yeah,
very dedicated. I'm very proud. It's been like 5 years. He's been out just working and yeah,
yeah.
really
I
good
know. He
guy.
told me, he said, "I wish I knew this when I was a kid."
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, he's
He's
doing
still
awesome,
young,
and
so he still has time.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, folks, you see, guys, me, Chris, and a lot of other guys, we can go to prison. We can be bad boys. We are able to turn our lives around. And I
That's
want to tell all
important.
the young kids, this is a real live prison guard at one of the worst places. MDC was horrible when I was there. Chris told me because Chris got more time because he had 2 cases. And he said, Ori, it's 100 times worse.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
100 times worse now than it was for him 5 years ago. Yeah.
so now we know prison guards got their job, but inmates run their own part of the prison. Who's really in charge as far as the inmates? Now, what's
I honestly I don't view inmates in that way. I guess you would probably have to be an inmate to look at another inmate as he's in charge. I always believe I'm the one in charge anywhere I go. And I believe a lot of officers think the same way. Um, for the
um,
most part, thank God we still have the prison, of course. But I'm not too sure how to answer that because I can't look at it from a point of view of a person who was incarcerated. But there are a lot of illegal people in that prison, like illegal migrants.
let me ask you this question. A daily life, one of the things I hated in prison, and I believe it started a long time, how many stand-up counts a day are there?
5.
5. And the last one, I remember when they began that 10 o'clock at night,
It's 9 now. Yeah,
huh?
9 p.m.
9
now.
p.m. or they
Mhm.
changed it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that got changed because an inmate went over the fence at Lompoc.
Oh, Lompoc and Victorville. I don't know how you survive that. I would never work there. Oof, very, very hardcore.
I'm going to tell you something. When they brought me the I was in Victorville. I spent a month in Victorville when I first got transported out of Brooklyn, and we were locked up 23 hours a day there. Uh, Basically, it was 24. We never got out of the unit. You know, you got out one morning in the morning, 1 hour in the morning for breakfast, and to walk around if you wanted to walk, get your exercise. Otherwise, you were locked in the cell the rest 23 hours a day. People don't realize, with all the money our government's spending, I'm seeing it on TV now. Now, all the
Hmm.
money they've been giving to other countries and this and that.
Hmm.
And the BOP happens to be one of the biggest expenses, but they're always short on money. and they're never doing any improvement to the prison.
Um, I want to tell you, I think you have your facts a little bit wrong when it comes to the BOP. We're the least funded federal agency. There are other federal agencies that are funded, ICE
Oh
especially now
yeah,
with the migration crisis. But there's something the president brought up. There are some people who've been incarcerated 30, 40 times, and they're walking around the trains of New York like bums and just pushing people into the train. What do you do with these type of people? They're criminally insane. They don't go to the hospital and hurt other people. Let's send them to an island and make them, go to this prison offshore somewhere. And instead of spending all this money in prisons in New York or in the United States for that matter, and instead of spending money on privatization, let's send them to this island. I read the president of El Salvador agreed and said, yes, send them to El Salvador. We have a mega prison here. We'll take care of them. So for a fraction of the cost, maybe $3,000 or $4,000 per inmate, maybe less, the United States can send these inmates to another country and let them be taken care of over there, fed, housed for way less than what they're paying. I think they're paying 55,000 here per inmate to be housed.
where right now
Yeah, in the United States
it costs our government 55,000 a year to
per
house an
inmate.
inmate.
Yes,
Holy
and
Christ!
you and I've seen there are people there for. There was a guy who was getting sentenced to 50 years for growing marijuana indoors in those
Marijuana
days.
should be legal on a federal level, and I
It's
don't
legal now.
understand
At
why
that time,
none
it
of our
wasn't.
presidents are touching that. I can't understand that.
Money. It all comes down to money. Yeah.
It's it's approved in almost every state legally. It's big here in California, obviously. All right, I know New York, any place you can go out and buy marijuana anywhere.
Hmm.
All right, but our prisons loaded with people with marijuana charges.
Those people should be pardoned. Honestly, I mean, I'm not the president, and I'm not, a lawyer
Yeah.
or anything. But yeah, that's ridiculous. There's a lot of people I met in my days that didn't really belong there.
Okay, now another thing now, lockdowns. Okay, I remember we used to have a lot of lockdowns. How many lockdowns you have average now?
Oh,
Gotta lock the
I
prison down.
I can't even answer that. During COVID, oh, it was a nightmare. Like everybody in the prison had to work in the housing units and take care of sick inmates and lock them down and keep them away with social distancing and all the bullshit Fauci said for us to do,
Yeah,
and get them to shower alone and feeding them without cross contamination. You could only be with your bunkie. That's it. No type of interactions with anyone. So it's like it was a lot of work. People think lockdown, you don't have to deal with the inmates. No, you deal with the inmates even more. You have to feed
yeah,
them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and whatever issues they have. And if they are having medical emergencies, and give them their medication, give them water to drink, take them to the shower. It's a lot of work. I'd rather they not be locked down.
yeah. Charlie, we got 2 minutes left here. Okay,
Yeah.
and what can you? So Diddy is good. What we're hearing on YouTube is all garbage.
Yeah.
All right, he's
I mean,
being treated. Probably the worst thing mentally for him is that he's being treated like everybody else.
I believe so. Yes.
And for a guy with an ego like he has, that's got to be the thing that hurts him the most. Would
Well,
you agree with that?
I agree 100%. And as a matter of fact, it's my job to maintain a level of impartiality, you can say, with everyone.
Yeah,
Nobody's better than anyone. Once you have that jumper on, you are a ward of the state, and it's my responsibility to provide you what you have coming. Period. That's it. No more, no less.
Charlie, I thank you very much for joining me this morning. I
Thank you, Steve.
appreciate it. I hope for a lot of the viewers out there, okay, you understand now exactly what Diddy is going through. Stories with Ori brought you the truth with Charlie here. Thank you, Charlie. You have a wonderful, blessed day.
Thank you,
God
Ori.
bless.
It was nice seeing you. Thank you for having me.
Take
All right,
care. Bye
goodbye.
bye.
Take care.